Have you ever left someone's home feeling drained, frustrated, or emotionally exhausted? Maybe you went over for a friendly visit, but by the time you left, you felt worse than when you arrived. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. As we get older, the people we spend time with can have a bigger impact on our emotional and mental well-being than we realize. And after 65, it's crucial to protect your peace of mind by being selective about where you spend your time. In this video, we're diving into 4 types of people whose homes you should avoid visiting. These aren't just casual acquaintances. These are the ones who drain your energy, stir up negativity, and create unnecessary emotional stress. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear understanding of who you should be keeping your distance from, so you can spend your golden years with people who truly uplift you. Stay tuned until the end because it's just as important to know who to avoid as it is to know who to keep close. Recognizing these toxic patterns will give you the power to set healthy boundaries, reclaim your emotional well-being, and build a life full of positive relationships. Don't waste another moment feeling weighed down by negativity. Your time, your peace of mind, and your emotional health are worth it, and we'll show you how to protect them. Let's get started. If you are not subscribed, I recommend subscribing and activating the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support means a lot to me, and if you enjoyed this video, you can help me continue spreading the valuable lessons by liking and sharing it. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. Now, let's begin. Number 1, the chronic complainer. Some people seem to live in a perpetual state of dissatisfaction, no matter how much good may surround them. It's almost as if they're allergic to happiness, always searching for a reason to complain, even when life is treating them well. You've probably encountered them, the kind of person who, no matter the circumstances, will always find something to be upset about. You walk into their home and it's as if the air is heavy with negativity. Instead of a greeting, you're met with a long sigh, followed by a string of complaints about their health, the economy, or how the world just doesn't seem to care about them. And even when something good happens, maybe they receive some positive news or a nice gesture from someone, they still manage to turn it into a complaint, always finding a way to focus on what's wrong instead of what's right. It's exhausting, honestly, and if you stay too long, you begin to feel that way too. It's important to realize that negativity isn't just a fleeting feeling. It's a contagious energy. When you're around someone who constantly complains, it's as if their despair, frustration, and disillusionment seep into your soul. You may not notice it at first, but before you know it, their pessimism becomes a quiet companion to your thoughts. It starts with little things, the way they drag every conversation into a negative spiral, the constant sighs and murmurs of dissatisfaction. And soon those little things begin to feel like a burden, as though you're not just listening to their problems, but also carrying them on your shoulders. You leave their presence not just emotionally drained, but feeling like you've inherited their weight. It's as if you picked up their exhaustion, their helplessness, their belief that life is nothing but a series of unfair hurdles. But here's the thing. We all go through tough times. We all have moments when we need someone to listen, when the weight of the world seems too much to bear. That's part of life. And I believe that offering a listening ear and sharing in someone's pain is part of what makes us human. However, there's a fine line between being supportive and being dragged down into someone else's misery. Chronic complainers, those who make negativity their lifestyle, aren't seeking solutions. They're looking for an audience. They crave sympathy, not change. And the problem is, the more you give it to them, the more they'll pull you back into their cycle. Every visit, every phone call feels like you're being drawn deeper into a vortex of negativity where their problems become your problems, even though you never asked for them. At first, it's subtle. A small, seemingly harmless remark about a bad night's sleep or a minor annoyance with a neighbor's dog. You think it's just a passing complaint, nothing to be alarmed about, but before you know it, you're caught in an endless loop of complaints. The injustices of life, the unfairness of the world, they seem to be at the center of every conversation with no resolution in sight. No matter how much advice you offer, no matter how many times you try to suggest a solution, it always ends the same. The complaints continue, the same frustrations, the same cycle over and over. You begin to realize that your words, no matter how kind or wise, don't make a difference. They don't want change, they want to vent. They want someone to listen to their grievances without actually doing anything about them. And here's the part that starts to wear on you. If you try to shift the conversation to something positive, something that might lift the mood, they'll resist. It's almost as if your optimism offends them. If you share something good that happened in your life, they won't celebrate with you. Instead, they'll find a way to diminish it or compare it to their misfortune. Your excitement will be met with a roll of the eyes, a dismissive comment, or worse, a veiled complaint about how it's just another example of how life doesn't treat them the same. It's emotionally exhausting. You walk in with a sense of hope, of lightness, but leave feeling drained, irritated, or even hopeless yourself. It's as if the very act of being around them saps you of your joy. And after a while, you start to wonder, why should you feel this way? You came in ready to share and connect, but instead you leave feeling worse than when you arrived. Let's be honest here. After the age of 65, our time becomes infinitely more precious. We've learned through experience and heartbreak how to prioritize what matters. Life is too short to spend it trapped in the negativity of others. You've earned the right to protect your peace, to surround yourself with people who lift you, not weigh you down. Kindness is important, yes, but there's a difference between being kind and allowing someone to drain your energy, your joy, and your emotional well-being. Offering a sympathetic ear is one thing, but you are not responsible for carrying the burden of someone who refuses to seek happiness for themselves. You are not a garbage bin for their emotional trash. You deserve to live in the light to savor the moments of peace and joy that life has to offer. Don't sacrifice your happiness for someone who has made complaining their way of life. Yes, offer kindness, but protect your emotional health in the process. Your well-being is just as important as theirs. And if they can't see that, it's okay to step back. You don't need to keep carrying their unhappiness just because they refuse to let go of it. Number 2, the manipulative user. It's heartbreaking to realize that not everyone who opens their door to you does so out of genuine affection or a desire for your company. Sadly, some people invite you over only when they need something, and as soon as you step into their home, you can feel it. There's a subtle shift in the atmosphere. At first, it seems innocent enough. Maybe they ask you for a small favor, something that seems so trivial you can't help but agree. But over time, a pattern begins to form, one that's harder to ignore. They never reach out just to check in on you, never ask how you're doing, never invite you over simply for a chat. No, each visit carries an unspoken weight, an expectation of something you must do for them. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. What makes the manipulative user so dangerous is their ability to mask their requests behind layers of subtle manipulation. Rather than coming out and directly asking for help, they make their demands feel like an obligation you cannot escape. They'll disguise them with guilt. Or sometimes they'll use flattery as a tool to make you feel indispensable. Phrases like, "I don't know what I'd do without you," or "You're the only one who truly understands me," are often thrown around, leaving you feeling like you're the one person who can ease their pain or fix their problems. They'll talk about their loneliness, their helplessness, and somehow you end up shouldering the responsibility for their emotional well-being. Before you know it, you're spending your precious time fixing their leaky faucet, running errands you never signed up for, or doing tasks that take away from your own life. All because they found a way to make you feel responsible. But here's the painful truth. These relationships are devoid of mutual respect. Real friendships, real family bonds are based on give and take. You support each other, you offer help because you genuinely care, not because it's expected. But with a manipulative user, the scales are always tipped. 10:08. You give, and they take and take. They never seem to notice when you're exhausted or when you're in need. They never check in on you, never think to ask, "How can I help you today?" And when you start to feel like your visits leave you feeling more obligated than appreciated, that's your heart trying to tell you something. 10:29. The connection is one-sided. It's not love or friendship. It's exploitation, plain and simple. Some may justify this behavior by saying, well, they don't have anyone else. That might be true. But here's the real question you need to ask yourself. If the roles were reversed, would they be there for you in the same way? Would they drop everything to help you when you're in need? Would they sacrifice their own time and energy to make your life easier? If the answer is no, then you have to wonder, are they your friend or are they just using you? 1103. As a convenience, a resource to be tapped into when they're in need? Perhaps the most glaring red flag of all is how they react when you finally say no. If you refuse a request and they turn it into an emotional guilt trip, making you feel selfish or inadequate, that's the ultimate proof that their intentions have never been pure. 1123. They don't care about your time or well-being. They care about control. After 65, the last thing you need is someone who sees your kindness as an opportunity to exploit. Your time is precious. Your energy is finite. Life should be spent surrounded by people who genuinely care about you and value your company, not people who see you as nothing more than a resource to drain. 1148. If someone only calls when they need something and never just to see how you're doing, that's not a real connection. That's an obligation. And you deserve so much more than that. You deserve to feel appreciated, not like a tool in someone else's agenda. True connections are built on mutual respect, not manipulation. 1208. Never settle for less than you deserve. Number 3. The drama magnet. Certain people in life don't just walk through drama. They seem to create it almost as if it's the air they breathe. These individuals don't merely encounter conflict. They invite it into every corner of their lives. And worst of all, they have this uncanny ability to pull others into their endless cycle of chaos. 1235. It's exhausting and emotional in the most draining way. Yet they carry on with it as if it's all just normal. Imagine this. You walk into their home expecting a simple, relaxing conversation, maybe a warm cup of tea and light chatter, but instead you're immediately swept into a never-ending saga of how they've been wronged again. There's always a story about betrayal, a fight with a neighbor, a misunderstanding with a family member, or some dramatic situation where they're the perpetual victim. 1305. It's as though they've written the script for their life to be a drama. One conflict after another. And if you're in their orbit long enough, you will inevitably get caught up in it. The saddest part about people like this, the drama magnets, is that peace terrifies them. Calmness is foreign to them, and it makes them feel unsettled. 1326. They are uncomfortable in silence, in quiet contentment. When everything is peaceful, they stir the pot, gossiping about others, embellishing trivial disagreements, or even fabricating stories where they always come out as the injured party. It's a sad cry for attention, but it's also a form of manipulation, and it doesn't stop there. 1349. They don't just want you to listen sympathetically, they want you to choose a side. They want you to take their part, defend them, and sever ties with anyone who dares disagree with their narrative. Here's where things get dangerous. The cycle never ends. No matter how neutral you try to remain, no matter how much you try to simply nod and smile, they will persist. 1412. They will test you, pushing your boundaries, waiting for you to pick a side. If you align with them, they'll reward you with more gossip, more details, making you feel like you've gained special access to the real story. But oh, if you dare question them, offer another perspective or simply change the subject. Brace yourself. 1434. They'll take it personally, turning on you like you've just betrayed them. You might even become their next target, someone they'll endlessly criticize in front of others, just as they did with their previous victim. What's most draining is the way these people suck the energy from everyone around them. Spending time with a drama magnet doesn't leave you feeling uplifted or refreshed. 1456. It leaves you emotionally depleted. The conversation is never lighthearted or inspiring, but filled with tension and negativity. You can feel it in the air even when they try to be charming or friendly. It's an undercurrent of anxiety, like walking on eggshells, afraid to say the wrong thing because you don't know how their next emotional storm will unfold. 1519. But here's the real problem. If you're not careful, their constant turmoil will begin to infiltrate your mindset. You'll find yourself caught up in their mess, even if you didn't sign up for it. You might begin to question your relationships, feel on edge about your issues, or just generally feel like the world is one big drama waiting to happen. 1540. People like this have a way of blurring the lines between what's real and what's just noise. They confuse being passionate with being dramatic, and they convince you that their stress is just a part of life, even though it isn't. Some might think, oh, they're just so passionate. They have so much going on. But real friendships, healthy relationships, good people don't drag you through unnecessary chaos. 1606. They don't make you feel like you're the audience of a tragic, never-ending soap opera. They don't make you feel like you're walking a tightrope, trying to avoid upsetting them with every word. The truth is, some relationships just aren't worth salvaging. If visiting someone's home feels like stepping into a battlefield, a place where your emotional peace is constantly under attack, you need to ask yourself, why do I keep going back? Why am I letting this person, this toxic influence, into my life? The older I get, the more I understand that peace is, 1640, not just a luxury, it's a necessity. And if someone can't offer you that, or worse, if they thrive on creating turmoil at the expense of your well-being, it's okay to step away. You're not obligated to entertain their emotional chaos, to listen to their never-ending grievances. After 65, life is too short. 1703. Your time is far too precious to spend it caught in the storm of someone else's drama. You deserve to be surrounded by people who bring joy, calm, and love into your life. People who make you feel supported, not like you're constantly trying to hold their emotional pieces together. In the end, remember this. You are in control of your peace. 1724. If someone doesn't respect that, it's time to take a step back and ask yourself, is this really where I want to be? Number 4, the negative nostalgic. Some people seem to live in the past, but not in the kind of nostalgic way that warms the heart or provides valuable lessons. No, these individuals remain shackled to their history in a way that holds them back in bitterness, regret, and a deep-rooted resentment. 1751. When you step into their home, it's almost as though time stands still. The air is thick with stories of what went wrong, who let them down, or how life somehow dealt them an unfair hand. They can recount these tales as if they've never left them behind. No matter how much time has passed or how much goodness surrounds them in the present, their gaze is always on what they lost, as though what remains is insignificant, even invisible. 1818. At first, it might appear harmless. Who doesn't enjoy a good trip down memory lane? Everyone has their share of cherished recollections that bring comfort or joy. But with the negative nostalgia, it's never just about fond memories. It's about reliving disappointments. They'll linger on past family feuds, revisiting old betrayals and recounting missed opportunities again and again. 1846. And with every mention, every retelling, the bitterness seems to deepen. The cycle never seems to end. Here's where it becomes dangerous, not just for them, but for you as well. You might start out trying to remain positive, eager to share good stories, to focus on the bright side, but no matter how hard you try, they will always drag the conversation back to regret, pulling you into their web of sorrow. 1914. Have you ever left someone's home feeling drained with your energy depleted and your mind weighed down by thoughts you didn't even know you had? That's the risk of spending too much time with someone trapped in their past. You'll start to see the world the way they do, through the lens of what's lost, what could have been, instead of what's still possible. 1934. Without realizing it, you might begin to dwell on your regrets, those things you thought you had let go of long ago. Maybe it's the one that got away, or a mistake that still stings, or the feeling of not having lived up to your potential. And the more time you spend with these individuals, the more their negativity can seep into your soul. 1954. They'll tell you almost as if it's fact that things will never be as good as they used to be, that the world today is colder, harder, and less hopeful. They'll convince you that getting older is just a slow, inevitable loss. And if you're not careful, their words begin to feel like a truth you can't shake. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment below to let me know that you are still here with me. 2025. The truth, however, is that life is a constant flow of change. Each day, each moment brings new opportunities for growth, joy, and gratitude. There is always something to appreciate, something to look forward to, no matter how old you are. Yet, the negative nostalgic cannot see this. To them, the best days are behind them. The present holds no magic, no promise of better things. 2053. They have closed their hearts to the possibility of new joy, choosing instead to dwell in the shadows of their past. And if you spend too much time in their company, you risk absorbing their hopelessness, their cynicism. You might unknowingly start to shut yourself off from the beauty of the present, becoming too weary to seek new experiences, too burdened by memories that no longer serve you. 2117. Now, this doesn't mean you should avoid people who have experienced hardship or loss. After all, every life has its struggles. But there's a crucial difference between sharing life lessons and clinging to old pain. There's a significant difference between honoring the memories of those we've loved and letting them trap us in a cage of what can never be again. 2138. After 65, we must be intentional about the people we allow into our lives. It's crucial to surround ourselves with those who appreciate what's still to come, those who see the beauty of now, and those who celebrate the future rather than mourn the past. Reflect on this as we near the end of this message. Have you ever found yourself leaving someone's house feeling emotionally drained, disheartened, or mentally exhausted? If so, it might be time to reconsider where and with whom you spend your time. After 65, your peace of mind, 2212, is one of the most precious gifts you can protect. Guarding it is not just a luxury, it's a necessity. You deserve to be surrounded by people who lift you, who inspire you, who encourage you to keep growing and exploring the joys that life still holds. This doesn't mean you have to cut people off without thought or reason, 2234. But it does mean you need to be aware of the energy you allow into your space. Some people leave you feeling rejuvenated, full of life and connected in a way that nourishes your spirit. Others, though, leave you carrying burdens that don't belong to you. Feelings of doubt, disappointment, and an emotional heaviness that wasn't yours to bear. 2255. And when you start to notice how you feel after spending time with someone, you'll quickly learn the difference between relationships that build you up and those that tear you down. So remember, you are not responsible for carrying someone else's negativity or feeding into their drama. You don't need to fix their past or make up for their unwillingness to let go of their pain. 2317. You deserve to protect your peace, to spend your time and energy with people who bring joy, not those who drain it from you. You have the right to walk through life with lightness in your heart, with a spirit that looks ahead rather than behind, and with a sense of possibility that refuses to be dulled by past regrets. 2334. As you enter this stage of your life, you deserve to be surrounded by people who will encourage your growth, remind you of your strength, and help you embrace the beauty that still lies ahead. Hold on to that truth, and don't let anyone convince you that the best days are behind you. The best is yet to come. As we come to the end of this video, I want you to take a moment and reflect on everything we've discussed. 2359. What have you learned about the types of people who can influence your life? How can you start protecting your peace and surrounding yourself with those who lift you rather than bring you down? We've covered a lot, from avoiding the pull of negative nostalgia to understanding the importance of maintaining your energy and emotional well-being. 2419. Now I'd love to hear from you. What's one thing you've learned today that you can start practicing in your own life? Is there a particular change you'll make in the people you spend your time with, or something else that stood out to you? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your perspective. 2438. And if you found this video valuable, don't forget to leave a comment, give us a thumbs up, and share it with others who might benefit. Make sure to subscribe to our channel for more insightful content like this. Your support helps us keep bringing you the content you love. Thank you so much for watching.